blog.stampwithelaine.com. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's going to be a 101 on Stampin' Up's ink pads. Currently we hold 5 types of ink pads. There is the classic ink pad, Whisper White craft ink pad, Stays On, Versamark and a Memento black ink. Let's talk about the classic ink pad. Now this is a water-based dye ink. There are 46 colours altogether, 10 in each family, in subtles, brights, regals and neutrals. In the neutrals there are the basic black and the basic grey were withdrawn, and they're coming back reconfigured. As of September the 1st, they will be available for sale as a basic black and basic grey archival stamping pad. Classic ink pad is quick drying. You can watercolour with it. If you put up water on it, it will run. You can squeeze the lid to get ink on the lid so that you can use it as a palette. On the base of the ink pad there is a sticker sheet. I will cover that in another video. Whisper White craft ink is a pigment ink. It is slow drying and will stay white even on dark coloured paper. You can heat emboss with it, and the ink pad is a less dense sponge. If I hold it up to the camera you will see that it's quite porous, whereas with the classic ink pad it is quite dense. We have the Stays On ink pad. Stampin' Up only carries it in the black. It's got solvent in it, so it smells a little bit like marzipan. There is also a clear cover, so don't discard that, because as it's got solvent in it, it evaporates quite quickly, and so the clear cover actually keeps your ink pad moist. I put a glue dot on mine to attach it to the lid so that I don't lose it each time. It's also archival ink. You can watercolour without it streaking. So I'm going to stamp with the Stays On ink with a red rubber image, just to show you that the using an aqua painter with my classic ink pad as a palette. You just quickly colour wash over this. You can see that it doesn't streak at all. Now I've stamped my photopolymer stamp with the Stays On ink just to show you how I clean them. Both these stamps have Stays On it. The only thing that removes Stays On from rubber stamps is Stays On Cleaner. You can use it on red rubber, but it's very, very bad for photopolymer. So if you use it on photopolymer, you need to remember to wash it off with detergent as quickly as possible. So I've got a bowl of water here. I'll just put a tiny bit of fairy liquid. Slosh that around. And wash it off just with my finger. Now I don't use a brush because I don't know whether it will damage the stamp or not. I don't suppose it will, but I don't like risking it, so I just use my finger to wash it off. And you're likely to get messy. So I've got water splashed all over my workspace, so maybe it's a good idea to put a waterproof mat underneath. I should really do this under the kitchen sink tap, but it's a bit difficult to try and video with one hand holding the camera and the other trying to do a task which needs both hands rather than the one. And then I rinse it off in a tub of clean water. So this is just clear tap water. And with the red rubber stamp, you just rub Stays-On cleaner over it and let it react to the Stays-On ink. Take off most of it with your kitchen towel. Bring in your Stampin' Scrub. Spray it with the Stampin' Mist. There are two sides to your Stampin' Scrub. One is for putting your mist on, and it's got like a carpet towel, so it's got fibres that stick up and it gets at all the nooks and crannies, and it conditions your red rubber stamp as well, so you dry it off on the opposite side and then your stamps are ready to go. Another tip, if you're stamping with a lot of photopolymer stamps and you're washing it in batches, it's best to leave it to drain on your draining board so that you don't get flint or you know, the residue of the kitchen towel paper on your photopolymer stamp. Next we have our Versamark ink pad. This is an embossing ink. It's quite spongy and it's quite sticky because it contains glycerin in it, and it's slow drying, that's why it's perfect for embossing. It won't stay pristine white. It allegedly will remove ink from badly stained stamps, although I can't say I've tried it. It can also be used to leave a watermark on any coloured cardstock. It will just go slightly darker than the shade of the cardstock you're using. Both Stays-On and Versamark are the brand leaders and the only reason Stampin' Up haven't made their own is because they can't better it. So as you know, Stampin' Up are known for their quality and high standards. If it's not up to scratch, Stampin' Up won't endorse it. We have Memento ink. Now this was included in our catalogue about a year ago. It's a dye ink. It's water-based and it was designed to use with alcohol markers. Stays-On isn't suitable for alcohol markers, but Memento ink is. So that brings me back to just a little note on the two ink pads that Stampin' Up have brought back in the basic black and the basic grey. It actually says on here, you'll notice the difference, the classic ink pad has been withdrawn, as is the basic grey, and in its place we have, you're getting a sneak peek here, are the archival stamping pads. So that's in the basic black and the basic grey. So that concludes the 101 on Stampin' Up ink pads that they currently carry. So I hope you found this video tutorial useful, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.